In previous videos I put together, information was covered regarding what I dub the war on reality. I specifically looked at one of the main aspects behind the MAGA cult QAnon and its relationship to key pro-Kremlin former US military generals Michael Flynn and author of From Psyop to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory, General Paul E. Vallely. Clear parallels can be made between what was covered and what Steve Bannon says in this recent interview clip.
Tell me about Speaker Mike Johnson. What is going on here? I mean, President Trump backing him again over the weekend in Mar-a-Lago, really taking the wind out of anybody's sails for getting rid of this guy. Give us your analysis on this.
I don't agree with that. I don't think President Trump, the people around him, have given him the information. Look at what came out today. Axios broke a huge story. You want to see Mike Johnson, all his glory? He flies back from Mar-a-Lago, has a big dinner with all these fat cat donors in Washington, D.C. last night, and he talks about what he will do if they hold the House. He's going to do it. All the reforms are done of the power sharing. He's going to go back to hardcore D.C. cartel. He's going to get rid of the 3 conservatives on the Rules Committee. They're going to take charge of the Rules Committee. He basically lays out everything we fought for in getting rid of McCarthy. Mike Johnson now, as a conservative, is going to undo. Don't take it from me. Read Axios. Axios got direct notes from the meeting last night. And this shows you the kind of worm that Mike Johnson is. Look, there's no bigger platform supporting President Trump and demanding that Johnson and Jordan immediately start a criminal conspiracy investigation, with having subpoenas fly this week to go on offense against this outrage of President Trump and what they're doing in the courts. But President Trump on Mike Johnson is just dead wrong. And they've shown a bunch of phony polls. Here's what happened in Mar-a-Lago. They showed typically, they gun-decked the polling, and they showed the polling, oh my gosh, we're going to lose the House, it could lose the presidency, we have another motion to vacate. That's all crap. You can create reality by your actions. That's what they failed to. These polls, make sure those polls, they're all totally phony. The way they answer the questions, the way they get the results is phony. And then everybody goes, oh, look at the polling. Hey, War Room doesn't do that. We create realities.
The focus on bringing your own, quote, reality into existence isn't the first time Republicans or even Trump admin representatives have openly spoken about creating their own reality. The gaslighting was modus operandi for the Trump administration. Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, who served as a senior counselor to the president at the time of her, quote, alternative facts statement, is no stranger to Steve Bannon. They both have strong ties to the Trump campaign administration and wealthy billionaire Trump and GOP donors Robert Mercer and his daughter Rebecca. In the same video I did on QAnon that featured these quotes, the links between Vallely and neocon lies used to justify the invasion of Iraq, lies used to attack Valerie Plame, whose findings working for the CIA contradicted the lies promoted by Israel and Bush administration. Vallely's key links to the Bush administration and role perpetuating propaganda on Fox News post 9/11, pro-Trump propaganda cult, QAnon, and Vallely's links to Russia are also covered. There is a link between Bannon and Vallely via Frank Gaffney's military-industrial complex and Zionist donor-backed Center for Security Policy think tank. Vallely has for a long time been part of the group, and Bannon is part of the organization's Committee on the Present Danger, China. Vallely himself has promoted crazed anti-China conspiracy theories.
Ukraine's not even a country. It's kind of a concept. It's not even a country. So when we talk about sovereignty and self-determination, it's just a corrupt area where the Clintons have turned into a colony where we can steal money out of.
The two men oppose US support for ally Ukraine, yet are fully supportive of another ally receiving billions of dollars in military aid, Israel. Ukraine, by the way, gave up their nuclear weapons in exchange for assurances from Russia, the United States, and United Kingdom to respect the Ukrainian independence and sovereignty in the existing borders, as well as economic support and security assurances from the United States and Russia, an agreement that has been clearly violated. There is no question that Mike Johnson has used delay tactics and politicised the issue passing the Ukraine bill, which worked out in favour of Russia. These points are very inconvenient for Bannon. In the interview clip I played of Bannon, he uses the issue of funding Ukraine to apply political pressure on Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, while at the same time defending Trump's position. He completely ignores the months of delaying. In essence, what Bannon is doing is propping up his CMP buddy, Mike Johnson, as false opposition to him, and making him the fall guy for the Ukraine aid being passed in the House, while distancing Trump and himself from the decision. Bannon then presents a motion to vacate threat to Johnson, while presenting the other side's argument against it to the audience from the other side, that the Republicans would lose the House. Then there is the whole mention of the mysterious big donors, as if he isn't backed by them himself. Why doesn't he mention their names? Koch, Coors, Mercer, Adelson, Prince, DeVos. One reason why Bannon takes this position is because there is considerable pro-Putin sentiment and pro-Israel sentiment in their audience that they have helped to cultivate, and their job is to channel those people into voting for Trump in the 2024 presidential election. Well, Bannon has probably done more to promote the big lie with his consistent promotion of election rigging conspiracy theorist Mike Lindell. If you believe elections are rigged, why the hell would you vote? I guess picking and choosing which reality you live in, moment to moment, really helps with the whole contradiction thing. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, my conspiracy theory about Mike Lindell is that he never stopped smoking crack. Speaking of lies, how much nonsense did we hear about sealed indictments from these QAnon peddlers? This was used to create hype, false hope for the misled, and lead people along. Bannon is using the same tactic with his subpoena crap. It's rich coming from him because Bannon has been sentenced to prison for defying a subpoena issued to him by the J6 committee. To act as if the legal system is somehow biased or is being weaponized against Trump is a joke. If anyone else did what he has done, they'd be found guilty of treason. That's a word we haven't heard much of lately, is it? Treason. We've had years of this inept Merrick Garland clown doing nothing, and even after years of inactivity, pass the responsibility onto someone else who has been met with obstruction, delays and interference from people like Federalist Society member and Trump-appointed shill, Aileen Cannon. The Supreme Court is stacked with religious lunatics, and the entire ALEC and state policy network infrastructure has been built by the same billionaire GOP donors that support Trump. Jeremy and Greg of the Antidote podcast did a series on Alexander Dugin, covered the book War for Eternity and Bannon's key role in the circle of far-right global power brokers. If we look back at the time when Russia invaded Ukraine, Bannon was waging his own war on reality to justify Putin's actions, weaving in narratives promoted by Alexander Dugin. Since the time I've published the reference videos, Donald Trump has launched Truth Social, a social media platform based on the idea of Twitter for those who have been sucked into the Trump vortex. The platform serves the purpose of feeding users a constant stream of messaging branded as, quote, truths, flooding their reality with nonsense. It hasn't been the first time the word truth has been hijacked by liars, and we've seen a lot of the same people linked to that movement, to the MAGA movement. Just as disturbing is how the word truth plays a key role in the PSYOP to Mind War document, and concepts for its military application are seemingly being utilised against the general public. The goal of using said truth to will into existence a desired reality. So while we are reacting to their lies, they are busy creating new ones. A real truth and a real reality are just as important now as they ever have been. What makes truth so powerful is its inherent quality of being inescapable and eternal. The inevitability of reality unfolding No matter how one may try to manipulate or hide it, the truth has a way of revealing itself.